where legends breathe again. Eldmyth. In the vast, echoing halls of Norse myth, where the shadows of the past whisper through the branches of Yggdrasil, exist beings of every conceivable form and intent. Yet among the Aesir and Vanir, the giants and the dwarves, one figure stands apart, his role unlike any other. He is not a god of storm or war, not a sorcerer or a trickster. He is the Watcher. Imagine a being whose very essence is perception, whose purpose was forged at the boundary between the cosmos and the void. His name is Heimdall, the shining god, the white as, the unwavering sentinel of the gods. He is the guardian of the Bifröst, the burning rainbow bridge that connects the divine realm of Asgard to the nine worlds, a structure of such immense, volatile energy that it would annihilate any lesser being who dared to cross it without his consent. His senses are so preternaturally acute that the ancient poems claim he can hear the grass rooting deep in the earth and the wool growing thick on the sheep in the fields. He needs no comfort, for his watch is his sustenance. His golden teeth gleam with their own inner light, illuminating the twilight of the world's edge. He is the first line of defense, the living alarm and the final threshold. To understand Heimdall is to understand that order in the Norse cosmos is not a given. It is a fragile state, paid for by the eternal vigilance of a single, silent god. The origin of Heimdall is as enigmatic and profound as the god himself, rooted not in a simple divine union, but in the raw, untamed power of the cosmos. He is uniquely known as the son of 9 mothers, who are identified as the 9 daughters of the sea giant Aegir, the 9 waves. These are not mere women, they are the personified forces of the ocean itself, the relentless, crushing depth, the gentle, nurturing tide, the tempestuous, storm-driven surge, the freezing current from the north, and the warm flow from the south. His was a birth of elemental convergence. The myths speak of his conception at the very edge of the world, where the land meets the sea, the ultimate boundary. He was raised by the strength of the earth, fed with its cold, life-giving soil, and imbued with the wisdom and boundless energy of the deep. This dual heritage is the source of his unparalleled faculties. From the earth, he gained an unshakable solidity and the ability to feel the most minute tremors, to know the secrets sleeping in the stone. From the sea, he gained the capacity to hear the faintest whispers across impossible distances, to parse the symphony of existence into its individual notes. He became, in essence, a living instrument of cosmic awareness, his consciousness a web stretching across the 9 realms, each strand tuned to a different frequency of being. His home is Himinbjörg, the heavenly mountain or cliffs of heaven. This is far more than a simple watchtower. It is a fortress palace, a celestial lighthouse, and an observatory of sublime power, perched at the highest point of Asgard where the Bifröst makes its awe-inspiring landing. The very substance of Himinbjörg is debated in whispers. Some say its walls are woven from cloud stuff and solidified starlight, its foundations laid upon the first rocks of creation. The air within is so pure and thin that a mortal would feel they were breathing liquid light. From its highest parapet, a balcony that hangs over the abyss of space, Heimdall's gaze is a sweeping, constant vigil. He observes the fiery forges of the dwarves in Svartalfheim, their hammers ringing a rhythm he can feel in his bones. He watches the light elves of Ulfheim dance in their perpetual, soft-lit twilight, their joy a faint, melodic hum. His hearing, a divine instrument, can isolate the lament of a single soul in the frozen halls of hell from the raucous, joyous feasting of the Einherjar in Valhalla's great hall. He is the silent auditor of the universe, processing a cacophony of sounds and sights that would shatter a mortal mind. The Eddas note he needs less sleep than a bird, a testament to a vigilance that never, ever wanes. His presence is a low, reassuring hum in the fabric of reality, a fundamental note that holds the ever-pressing chaos at bay. A sentinel is defined not by the peace he keeps, but by the enemies he deters. For Heimdall, the primary and eternal threat emanates from Jotunheim, the land of the frost giants. These are not simple-minded brutes. They are primordial forces of entropy, embodiments of the cold that seeks to still all motion, the silence that strives to swallow all sound, the chaos that yearns to unravel the ordered tapestry of the Aesir. Heimdall's war with them is not one of grand, clashing armies, but a silent, constant battle of perception and counterperception. He listens for the faint, almost imperceptible crunch of rhyme under a giant's stealthy footfall leagues away. He watches for the subtle distortion in the shimmering aurora over Asgard that might betray a giant's magical disguise or a scrying spell. There are unspoken tales, passed down in skaldic verse, of him single-handedly thwarting invasions not with a thunderous charge, but with a single, perfectly aimed arrow loosed from the dizzying heights of Himinbjörg, a streak of pure, golden light that pierces the heart of a giant commander as he raises his war horn, the signal to attack dying before it is born. He is the ultimate warden, a being whose very existence is a psychological and physical barrier against the ancient, chilling hunger of the giants. The most potent and terrifying symbol of Heimdall's duty is the Gjallarhorn, the resounding horn. This is no mere instrument of war or celebration. It is an artifact of destiny, its purpose singular and apocalyptic. It is kept not on his person, but hidden, yet eternally ready beneath the deepest, most sacred roots of Yggdrasil itself, absorbing the wisdom and pain of the world tree. Its voice, when sounded, is prophesied to be so profound, so all-encompassing, that it will reverberate through every fiber of every realm. It will be heard in the darkest pits of Nidavellir, the highest branches of Ulfheim, and the silent, frozen plains of Hel. It is the alarm bell for the end of all things, the trumpet that will announce the beginning of Ragnarök. Heimdall is the sole custodian of this terrible power. The psychological weight of this responsibility is unimaginable. To hold in your trust the instrument of universal doom, to know that the day you are forced to wet your lips and blow will be the last day of the world as it is known. He is often depicted in quiet moments, the cold metal of the horn pressed to his lips in a silent rehearsal, a breath held for all of eternity, waiting, watching for the stars to blink out one by one, the final sign that his long watch is over. Yet Heimdall is not solely a figure of isolated divine vigilance. One of his most profound and often overlooked roles is that of a civilizing force, the founder of human social order. The myth found in the Rigsthula tells of a time when Heimdall, adopting the mortal guise of a traveler named Rig, journeyed down from Asgard and walked the world of men. He was a figure of immense presence, clad in a great cloak that hid his divine radiance. His first visit was to a low, smoky hut by the sea, home to a worn, aged couple named Ai and Edda. He shared their coarse bread and sat by their meager fire for 3 days, imparting upon them a hidden wisdom. In time, Edda bore a son, swarthy and strong, with a thick back and calloused hands. They named him Thrall, and from him sprang the race of serfs and laborers, the Thralls, who found their purpose in toil and strength. Rig then journeyed on, coming to a well-kept, comfortable farm owned by a hospitable couple, Afi and Amma. He shared their wholesome food and offered counsel. From this union came a son, ruddy and robust, with a clever mind for building and farming. They named him Karl, the ancestor of all free peasants and craftsmen. Rig's final and most significant visit was to a grand hall, where he was welcomed by a lord and lady of obvious nobility, Fathir and Mothir. Here, he partook of fine meats and wine and discussed the deep mysteries of the world, the runes and the art of rulership. From this auspicious visit was born a son, fair-haired, sharp-eyed, and lithe. He was named Jarl, and from his first breath, he exhibited a noble bearing. He learned the secrets of the runes, the art of warfare, the skill of hunting, and the wisdom of speech. Jarl became the progenitor of the warrior aristocracy, the earls and kings, the ruling class destined to lead and protect. This myth, the Lay of Rig, is not merely a story of social stratification. It is a divine blueprint. Heimdall, in his wisdom, actively shaped the framework of human society. He imbued each estate with specific qualities: the enduring strength of the thrall, the diligent ingenuity of the farmer, and the strategic leadership qualities of the earl, all of which, are reflections of different facets of his own multifaceted divine nature. He is, therefore, as much a god of civilization and social order as he is of its ultimate protection. No being in the Norse pantheon exists in isolation, and Heimdall's narrative is locked in an eternal dance with its opposite, Loki, the shape-shifting god of mischief and chaos. Their rivalry is the stuff of legend, a fundamental clash of cosmic principles. Heimdall represents order, clarity, truth, and the unwavering defense of the status quo. Loki represents chaos, ambiguity, deception, and the disruptive force of change. They are two sides of a coin, forever bound in conflict. This animosity is not born of simple dislike, but of their very natures. Heimdall, the guardian of the gods' domain and laws, is the natural counter to Loki, who constantly tests, bends, and breaks those very same laws. Their interactions are a constant, low-grade war of wits and vigilance, with Heimdall's all-seeing eyes serving as the primary check on Loki's limitless capacity for deception and subversion. This tension is a necessary, if volatile, component of the Norse cosmos, a balance between stasis and chaos that defines the era of the gods before Ragnarök. One of the most famous and visceral tales of their rivalry involves the theft of the Brisingamen, the dazzling necklace of the goddess Freyja. Loki, in a fit of malice or perhaps simply for the challenge, managed to steal the precious artifact. Discovering the theft, the gods were enraged, but only one had the ability to track the trickster. Heimdall, the ultimate tracker, was summoned. He attuned his senses, filtering out the noise of the nine worlds until he located the faint, shimmering signature of the necklace and the chaotic energy of Loki, who had transformed himself into a seal to hide in the cold, crashing waves of a desolate northern shore. Heimdall, without hesitation, shifted his own form, becoming a great, powerful bull seal. The ensuing battle was not one of swords and shields, but a primal, brutal struggle on the wet, slippery rocks. They snarled and bit, their massive bodies slamming against each other amidst the freezing spray, a contest of raw strength and indomitable will. It was a battle fought in silence but for the roar of the sea and the grunts of the combatants. After a long and exhausting fight, Heimdall's unwavering resolve and superior strength prevailed. He wrested the Brisingamen from Loki's grasp and returned it to a grateful Freyja. This story is a perfect allegory for their eternal conflict. The forces of order and vigilance, though tested to their limit, ultimately containing the forces of chaos and theft. As the ages turned, Heimdall's watch became increasingly tense. The prophecies foretold in the Völuspá began to manifest, and his heightened senses would have been the first to perceive the signs of the world's unraveling. He would have felt the first unending winter, the Fimbulwinter, as a creeping cold that seeped into the roots of Yggdrasil itself. He would have heard the breaking of sacred bonds, the fratricidal wars among mankind, the corruption of oaths, as a dissonant, shrieking chord in the harmony of the worlds. His gaze would have witnessed Loki's monstrous children, Fenrir the wolf and Jormungandr the serpent, growing ever larger and more restless in their bonds. The constant, low-level threat from the giants would have intensified into a drumbeat of war. During this time, Heimdall's role would have evolved from mere sentry to intelligence master for the Aesir. He was their early warning system, his reports from the edge of reality growing ever more grim. The weight of the Gjallarhorn, hidden beneath the tree, would have felt heavier with each passing season, its silent presence a constant reminder of the inevitable duty that awaited him. The piece of his watch was now a countdown to catastrophe. And then the moment arrives. The signs are all fulfilled. The sun and moon are swallowed, the stars vanish, and the bonds of the world loosen. It is time. Heimdall, the watchman, becomes the herald of the end. He descends to where the Gjallarhorn is hidden, draws a breath that he has held in his lungs for all of eternity, and sounds the alarm. The blast from the horn is not merely loud, it is a metaphysical event. It is a sound that cracks the sky, a wave of pure information that screams through every realm, a vibration that shatters the very concept of silence. In Asgard, the Aesir arm themselves. In Valhalla, the Einherjar cease their feasting and form their ranks. On the field of Vigridr, the forces of chaos and destruction gather. And here, the prophecy of the Völuspá is terrifyingly specific. Heimdall and Loki, the eternal rivals, will find each other amidst the world-ending chaos. Their final confrontation is not one of subtlety or trickery, but of raw, hateful fury. They meet, these two gods who have defined each other through opposition, and they fight with the desperation of those who know there is no tomorrow. There is no glorious description of their duel, only the stark, brutal outcome. They kill one another. The watchman and the trickster, order and chaos, cancel each other out. Heimdall's light is extinguished just as Loki's chaos is finally, irrevocably contained, their long saga ending not with a victory, but with a mutually assured and tragic silence. The legacy of Heimdall is one of solemn duty and the ultimate sacrifice. In the modern imagination, he has been powerfully resurrected, most famously in the Marvel Comics and cinematic universe. Here, he is re-envisioned as a powerful, noble, and imposing figure, the guardian of the Bifröst, his all-seeing eyes a striking and accurate visual representation of his mythic attributes. While these interpretations take creative liberties, they have successfully catapulted this once obscure Norse god into the global consciousness, capturing the core essence of his role as an unwavering, loyal protector. Beyond pop culture, his name and spirit echo in more subtle, profound ways. He is the archetypal patron of all who stand watch, the lighthouse keeper scanning the foggy dark for signs of danger, the air traffic controller monitoring the silent, blinking paths of aircraft, the security guard pacing a lonely perimeter through the night. He represents a fundamental part of the human psyche, the understanding that safety and order require constant, often invisible, vigilance. He embodies the heavy responsibility that comes with awareness, the burden of being the one who sees and hears what others cannot, and the courage to act when that silence is broken. As our journey into the myth of Heimdall concludes, we are left not with a simple character, but with a concept made divine. He is the boundary. He is the line between the known and the unknown, the signal in the noise, the watchful eye in the endless night. His story is a poignant and powerful reminder that the order we so often take for granted is not the default state of the universe. It is a fragile, hard-won construct, a temporary victory over chaos, purchased and maintained by the eternal, unblinking vigilance of sentinels like him. Heimdall is the price paid for civilization. He is the eternal sentinel who trades his own peace, his own potential for a different existence, for the safety of the worlds he is sworn to protect. So the next time you find yourself on a threshold, gazing out into the unknown, or simply listening to the quiet, persistent hum of the world in the deep of night, remember the white god. Remember the one who hears the grass grow and who, when the time came, did not hesitate to sound the horn at the end of time. For in that moment of quiet awareness, in that acknowledgement of the fragility of our peace, you are, in your own small way, touching the eternal essence of Heimdall. Another legend fades, but the next awaits. Like this video, subscribe and continue the journey through myths.